Paris. I mean, I know it seems ridiculous, but...
No, well, I mean, Australia is dark right now because, I mean, it's a very small country and we're both here.
No, I wish.
Oh, yes, I wish too.
No, genuinely, I first saw Cate long before we met. We've met since at events and things like that. But when I was working on a TV show, *𝖕𝖊𝖓𝖓. And you've always been my idol, my acting idol. So I saw you do the... I was just in awe and I was like, this is probably the closest I'll ever get to Cate Blanchett.
I mean, pancakes don't make you gay. That's why they spent all that time in the gym, kind of working off the pancakes.
Well, maybe you know something. No, my mother did.
Do you have matching underwear on with you're talking about?
Did you see it as white and gold?
That's so weird. Yeah, she's a genius. No, I have. I can't remember. I think I flew. I can't remember. Early onset to super boring. But, Mum, my ears popped the other day on the plane, which was quite exciting for me. I could finally... I can hear you. No, it was a major... No, I was in a stage play. I played Miranda in The Tempest, and I had to put my head into this rusty bucket night after night, and I traced it back, and that's the last time I heard anything. Fraudulent.
Yeah, it's a fraud.
I was on stage and it was really, really bad. And you know, post-nasal drip, it drips down. But then I had to do this 20-minute monologue, and I had to blow my nose. I hid tissues for years. I've been playing characters on stage who all had sinus infections. They, who had tissues. Sometimes I was behind a flat, and I swear to God, I had a 20-minute monologue, and I thought, what do I do? Is this going to drip for 20 minutes? Like, I mean, really humiliating in front of 900 people with 2 big blobs of mucus doing this. But my ears popped. I mean, this post-nasal drip stopped after the sinus operation. That was great. But then my ears popped and I can hear.
What? I mean, like...
Yes, I can.
And so on top of an accent. But you...
I mean, being Australian, there's very few characters. I mean, it's changing slightly. There's a lot of actors, Australian actors in America now. But there's not a lot of call for Australian accents in the international.
No, so
I always had that sense of difference. But do you find that you can then slip back? Well, clearly, because you just did it. But you can slip back into that. Surely, I mean, you've done quite a lot of regional. And I thought, oh, he's really aged. Maybe he's been very ill. And of course, then the film goes back into flashback. I'm playing old today.
Playing old.
But you did it seamlessly, and so what you have is this.
They don't seem to be American, because.
But don't you know,
think of what a career.
So terrible and disappointing and limiting. I remember that. I think probably the first time I saw you on film was I saw Bent.
Did you?
It was amazing, and then you had originated that with Shaun Matthias. There were such kind of parallels between the two. Because you seemed so utterly free in that film, having originated the role on stage.
No, but then I had to think about was how can I do it?
I know.
Rather than just step into it.
But sometimes I remember Soderbergh saying, because I did a film with him in The Good German, which about 2.5 people saw.
Okay, I'll try. Okay. I'm an actress, so inherently everything is fake.
Okay, well, you know, in situations where people are like, don't date this, not just go with her gut and say, screw him.
Are you paying me for this session? It could take some time. I think there's a lot of, you know, there's been a rise of people's. You're talking about in the creative industries?
Just in relationship and creative industries, you know, in relation to this film.
I think there's so much more available, accessible commentary. You know, that probably used to happen around. I just think it's important to switch that off so you make your own decision, and you kind of got to have a lack of consequence in a way. And you say, because if you're not engaged, if you're not interested, the audience won't be. And it, you know, was it Louis Malle or Woody Allen who said it makes as much effort to make a bad film as it does to make a good film? Likewise with performances. And you're going to do some duds and you're going to do, hopefully, some that work, like Carol. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I think it's the only place to work. Of course, you know, over the years, you hope that you have a sense of taste and discernment. And, you know, you'll make some bad decisions, but, I mean, I was attached to this film for a long time through a lot of ups and downs, but it wasn't really till Todd came on board that it just took off, and it was like everyone was then working from their gut, and it felt right. And, you know. I don't know if I'm asking your question. Do you want me to help you? Okay,
Yeah, I
today?
mean, I feel
I don't
good.
have any tissues.
No. does
Well, it depends where you live in the world, doesn't it? Depends what hurdles you have to get over. But it certainly helps. It certainly helps keep things in perspective. And, you know, I've been married for 18 years, and so there's many, many different shades. Carol is a wonderful, it's not a political film, it's an unabashed romance. And I think that what makes it interesting and special, obviously, is it originates from Patricia Highsmith's story where, and in this instance, it's The Love is a Crime. So there's a kind of a romantic. And I think, you know, when everything's hyper real and we're in everyone's lives and there's no sense of secrecy or of things that are kind of truly intimate, then romance and love, I think, are very difficult and rare things to be greatly valued. Like we all talk about Hollywood like it's some accepted thing that we all move through. But for instance, we're sitting in Los Angeles talking about this film, but I felt in a way that we were making, you know, this really kamikaze student film. I mean, you had Christine Vachon from Killer Project and made some really interesting, influential films. You've got Rooney, who's made some really independent decisions, and then you've got Todd Haynes, you know, whose student film, I still remember, Superstar, the Karen Carpenter story made with Barbie dolls. So that exists inside Hollywood. So I feel the biggest surprise for me was just how many independent minds and thinkers there are within this so-called Hollywood system. You're welcome. Anything I can.
Bathroom. He's on the other side of the bathroom.
Yes.
Which you've renovated.
Oh, by the way, yes,
and
you're
And
right.
he wasn't there, he was out in the laneway.
It's funny.
I just wanted to know if it was a deliberate decision or...
Yeah.
It was a little bit like a Turkish prison.
And then we went...
The windows, it's great. It's like, what have I done?
Well...
It's like waking up in room 101.
You don't
and you're
wanna...
waiting for the rat to be put on the end of your face.
You can't have...
Kind of now Turkish prison comes sort of New York apartment.
Oh.
No, it's really lovely. The marble is beautiful. Is there like a name for faux marble?
It's...
Are you Australian as well?
He's from New Zealand.
Okay, close enough.
Yeah.
We're all kind of, it's a mass exodus. But you know when they flooded the Yangtze River in China, where you're about to go, it's sort of, people were worried it was going to tip. This axis was going to tip.
Who did?
Well, when they flooded the Yangtze, because they put so much water into the one area, and so there's so many Australians now in Los Angeles. It's like the Earth's axis might.
This is
the Masons and the Mormons and the Christians and the Republicans. Those kind of meetings that love each other. In a friendly way, I said to Mendo to man up and get dressed. I mean, we look after each other in that. I don't know if I'm allowed to call him Mendo.
Did you make
Yeah. Jimmo Kimmo.
It was very big on backstory, you know, what had gone before this moment. And the fact that you can't forget, like every other human being on the planet, they're emerging from the pandemic. They're emerging from a time when they could not play music together. And Lydia's like that too. And I think also she's about to turn 50. You know, she's about to finally get to the moment of, along with Sharon, who leads the orchestra, and the orchestra themselves, to record the last of Mahler's symphonies, to get the box set, you know, so she's very focused on legacy, thing that got them together in the first place. And Lydia herself is estranged from the why. And I think that's a lot of things, a thing that people can really understand, I think.
I know, we should do that back to them when they see us.
Yeah.
We should scream right back to them.
Did you all just win 25,000 or?
Yeah. No, they haven't vandalized anything yet. Now I'm encouraging that. People are going to go all over the place and put posters up.
Oh, hang on. I screamed and I popped my pants. Sorry. There we go.
Wow. Yeah. So you scream from your core.
Yes.
That's.
Yes, it's all those years on stage.
So you're not supposed to
no,
scream
exactly.
from there.
That's why I popped my pants.
I think that's. You could pop
A suggestion like that, and I will do it. So it's a terrible thing. Yeah, you put that in my brain, and.
But not for me. You'll do it for like your husband or something.
For $25,000.
Yes.
I'll do it.
Oh, really? Let's get a check out here for Cate.
I just popped my pants again. Yep. Sorry. There we
Just
go.
leave it.
I can't. Laugh.
We can't see it. It's
I know, but
okay.
I did it again. Sorry.
But we can't see it. It's all
It's
right.
like a lot. It's leisure wear.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Just take them off. I mean, really, just.
I'll do it.
And
You better change the
I know
subject.
you will. What have you done this summer? I want to hear all about. Did you travel? Did you?
I did not get into a bikini.
No.
I went to Australia.
You did.
Yes. My country of birth.
Yes.
And then down on the river outside Sydney. Oh, because there's bullnose sharks in the river. But I only found that after we'd gone swimming in the river with all of my kids for about 2 weeks. And then they said, oh, you better not swim there because there's bullnose sharks. We didn't get eaten, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be here. But mud crabs, but, you know, they're usually on the bottom. 3-year-old Al. If you're interested, are you genuinely interested? Because I could go on. It's hunting for truffles. Take your fingers off. Go with a dog. Dogs hate truffles. They want the treat.
I see.
So if you're going truffle hunting, all of you, I'm sure, every single person in the audience. Well, it's a slang term for an idiot.
Has, you know, her tongue is as sharp as a sword. She's got a rapier wit. It's a pleasure. And then you're directed by Rick Linklater, and all of the kind of the character tropes are from Maria Semple's novel. It's delicious. I think the challenge was trying to balance the kind of the energetic push of Maria's writing with energy and focus, but yet he's desperately interested in the parent-child relationship and the husband-wife relationship, and he really loved Bernadette. He felt like he had a very personal reason for wanting to make the film, but it was trying to sort of pull all of that energy and then put it into the film that I was in. Well, yes, it's a prologue of sorts to what you're going to see unfold, but also you don't realise you're witnessing someone, in a way, performing themselves, as I am probably right now. I'm performing, very self-conscious indeed. But it was there also for another reason, to table set the fact that this woman knew her onions and had an unassailable right to be in the position that... We were just talking to 𝖕𝖊𝖊𝖓 tonight, who's just launched a book about, trying to articulate the art of conducting. And often artists, conductors in this instance, are often quite inarticulate about what it is that we do, and the way we choose to express or explain what it is that we do is often contrary to the way we actually do it. So, because I know, working in the theatre for a long time, there's a great level of superstition, because you want to keep the art very close to your chest. So I like Todd was alluding, I thought about her background, and there are various aspects of her background that we sort of invented about the way she grew up in quite a silent household, and how that might, her acute sensitivity to sound might affect the way she conducts. So, I watched masterclasses, rehearsals, and performances of a myriad of different directors, and ultimately the whole thing for me the freedom was that of course it's so obvious, but I'm quite slow, that conducting is a consummate form of communication, and that it's not just about what the left hand does and how it might shape various parts or aspects of any given symphony, and the time which is beat with the right hand. But I don't think about it. I mean, it's extraordinary to be for this film that seemed like a dangerous and exhilarating experiment to be in a mainstream conversation with the Academy. It's remarkable, and I'm so thrilled and honoured by that, and also to be alongside the women who've given such extraordinary performances this year, many of whom weren't nominated, so but I'm thrilled.
And John?
I learned, there was so much to learn. Unfortunately, I forget things as quickly as I learn them, but I've always thought, if I'm half asleep, maybe I could speak German, but it was very specific, the German I had to speak. Originally in the screenplay there was no German, because the character's very adrift. She's very isolated. She's an American in the middle of a very grand old classical narrative that American conductors often don't get to experience. Classical music making is quite separate from America, so I had a lot of license. I wasn't playing a native German speaker, and we spoke English at home. But I did say to Todd, I felt it was very important for the reasons of authenticity that she rehearses in German. 𝖤𝐵𝐾, yeah. That was one of the most joyous experiences I've ever had on stage. When we were running, my husband and I were the CEOs and artistic directors of the Sydney Theatre Company, and we brought the production, we went to 𝖁𝐻𝑒atre de la Ville and to Recklinghausen, and we went to the Barbican in London with Grossenklein, the Botto Strauss play. And it's strange because Nina Hoss also played 𝖫𝐻𝑒, the central character, so we have that in common. But I loved it.
And
she's very complicated. Before I could even get to sort of unlock her psychology, I had to unlock her passion. So I had to unlock her passion for the piano, for her passion for Mahler. I had to understand why she had not why she didn't want to play Mahler Fifth for so long, and then of course it was the art of conducting, which people spend a lifetime mastering, and yeah, so there were a lot of technical demands, but she's very elusive, and in the end, I felt that one of the most powerful keys was that she had, in order to get where she's gotten, she's had to deny her own personal history. And so I had to deeply understand the cost of that and the way a dangerous thing for an artist to develop in their personal life is a mask, because that can then come between you and your passion, between you and your work. So it was in that space that I found her. But it was ultimately her rhythm and her passion was unlocked through the music.
And Indomitable in a mocap suit, which is pretty hard to do. Those things are pretty... It's a lot of polyester to wear in Queensland.
I was going to ask, the polyester. Okay, how do we get in and out of that, and how do you use the restroom? Is this TMI?
No, it wasn't so bad. I think the restroom is harder for Chris. And but Mark and I were wearing mocap suits a lot, which are very easy to go to them. And probably no one would notice if you did it in the suit. They're so horrendous.
Go. We won't ask you if you did it.
A bloot in my suit.
So you are the one that actually takes the hammer. You are the one that does it.
I know, that had me at hello, actually. I thought that was really exciting that they were prepared to destroy Thor's power in the first few minutes. So, yeah, it's a nice entrance.
To have, like, the Wonder Womans, to have such amazing women take parts in Marvel movies and just be, like, something that younger girls look up to, how cool is that for you to just be a part of it? Even though you are the villain in this, but it's,
Well, no, but I mean, I didn't realize until Victoria from Marvel told me that I was inhabiting the first female Marvel villain on screen. And I thought, surely not. And I thought, well, no, actually, that's true. And there's been many, many, many in the comic books, but they just have not. They've been a little bit tardy in bringing them to the screen. So hopefully there'll be a lot more villainesses.
And just getting into shape, you already are in shape, but the guys are in there. There's a lot of testosterone. There's a lot of muscles. What were you doing?
But these guys do 8 films back to back, so they've got to stay in shape. Me, I get in shape, and then I back to eating hamburgers. So, I mean, they have to put me in another movie so I can... because otherwise I'm just too lazy.
Well, how do you do Comic-Con? What does it look like when you're walking through these halls?
It looks ugly. I am a ball of sweat right now.
Nice to meet you. So we learned that you had to learn how to speak German to play piano and to conduct for your film 𝖤𝐴𝑅.
Why not consider using a double? What's the payoff for doing so much work for your role?
Well, that's the joy of it. I mean, don't you find that, if you're asked to run a 28-mile marathon and you've never run more than a mile, if you say, yeah, I'm going to stick with a mile, you never stretch yourself and you never know what you're capable of. And I always love those roles where you're asked to do something that you have no idea what you're going to do. I mean, that's part of the joy of being an actor, is that you get to do things that you wouldn't maybe push yourself to do in everyday life.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you.
Have a good night.
Is it weird for you?
I'm much better in motion, and so the idea of being photographed from all different angles with people coming, particularly as you get older, they come in and they're looking. The dress, because it's a bit ugly under there. You get all the underpinnings, but you have to. But if you imagine there's a bank of cameras, I think you just look at them hard, but you just don't have to worry. You can't worry what people think about what you're wearing.
Oh God!
Into Twitch.
They always pick out the picture where you're pulling pulling that face.
Yeah, well, we do that face.
Ridiculous, isn't it? I would love to wear that again.
I was
in a cupboard. It was literally in a cupboard in a museum box, and I pulled it out, and the Armani fluffed it up again, and I wore different earrings and.
So is the
No, go for it.
After you. But you don't. It always takes a while to get into the groove of anything. You don't know if someone's going to be comfortable working one way or another way, or can we improv? Can we not? You're quite sure. But now we're worried about being hacked. So we're transferring information.
It's all telepathy.
It's just telepathy. I said, let's just go through the run. Last night we read through all our texts to each other. Remember that moment?
I thought you were going to say it was atrocious.
Not the first.
Trilogy.
Well, Oceans was just 11, right?
There you go.
But the first Oceans was Sinatra et al.
Yes.
Thank you.
How did you go about the conducting? So, I mean, what did you do to be that person?
I did this thing because I'd heard that Simon Rattle had talked about hearing music all the time and realized. So I got what's called an earwig in my ear, and I listened to various pieces of music throughout. The scenes while I was just acting with other people.
Feel as it is. What did it feel like on the very first?
I sort of like to think of it as I'm much more collaborative. When you breathe in is the inspiration and the exhalation is the music.
Well, you see,
I'd give it a good Aussie go.
We have two birds, and you're on the podium.
Now,
This little miscommunication.
You have such a gaze, a signature. The crew is cracking up here.
I have a whole lot of gaze.
The signature Disney villain gaze. I want to know. How do you do that Disney villain gaze? Teach us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Disney villain gaze, as in the gay Disney villains. Sorry, this is an accent dysfunction. Oh, you mean the gays, not the gays.
We are the cast of Ocean's 8, and we are going to play
A game.
Have you ever played cops and robbers?
As a sex game.
Blanchett, two-time Oscar winner. Have you ever played cops and robbers with your husband after the kids went to bed?
Okay. I haven't.
Oh, never have I ever used something in return. We're gonna cut this part out, right? Got off a random exit or made a random turn to lose a cop. I so you can't really answer this. So why don't we just talk to people who had a date?
Have you ever been to a premiere or done a red carpet?
Never have I ever plotted a crime in my head. Oh, have you ever plotted a crime to kill?
Hole that was called Rose's Hole. That's said the actress to the bishop. Rose's Hole. And I thought, I should probably ask, are there any crocodiles here? And they went, no crocodiles. So we swam for 2 hours. And we were sunning ourselves on the rocks afterwards, and we said, so why is it called Rose's Waterhole? And they said, oh, because, once Rose is now 80 years old, found herself sunning here, and there was an alligator beside her. Alligator come from? Oh, they're in the water. And so they thought I was concerned about crocodiles, but I would be fine.
Cate Blanchett, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Challenge.
I'm really scared, but I guess it's probably the closest you'll ever get to knowing what menopause feels like. So, yeah, I'm really sweating already. I'm getting anticipatory anxiety. Okay, layer one gone.
The layers are coming off. That means we're ready to go.
When you have an orchestra like that, it's just, it was better than I imagined it. It was really addictive, actually.
Ask questions later.
That's very sweet.
See?
That doesn't do, the other one was
had a little more of a kick. Let's think of it as like the cross that I bear at this point,
Right.
But it wasn't.
I think it was what Peter Jackson was called, and I'm sure they're being used a lot now, is a split frame diopter.
Jordan, now you're good. A little more, Cate. There we go. Here we go, Cate. I love you. Cate, Todd. Cate, Todd, right down the center. Cate, Todd, to right. Cate, Todd, to right. Cate, Cate. And then we get a fashion. Cate, can we get a fashion? Hey, Cate, right down the center, dear. Cate, big smile. To right. Cate, to right. Cate, can we have a couple smiles right here, please? Cate, on your left side. Cate, on your left. Cate, that big smile. Oh, yeah. Over your shoulders, look, Cate. That was an an Oscar moment right there. Rachel, Mademoiselle! Hold on! No, they got it!
Next foot!
Oh, Jordan, now you're good.
Jordan named you.
A little more, Kate. Hold out. There we go. I love you.
Guys, real close together.
Kate, you're right. Kate, touch, right down the center. Kate, touch, you're right. Kate, touch, you're right. Kate. And then we get a fashion. Kate, let me get a fashion. That's Kate, right down the center there.
Kate, big foul.
You're right.
Kate, down
You're right. Hit it.
Katie.
Blanchett, you're right.
Kate, can we have a couple smiles right here, please?
Right there. You're right. Kate, that beautiful smile. Oh, yeah. Over your shoulder and walk, Kate.
That was an Oscar moment right there.
Right here, right in the middle. Beautiful. Rachel, to your right.
Rachel, give us that smile right down the line, Rachel.
Rachel, to your right. And Kate, that beautiful smile.
Kate, straight over that smile.
Kate. Back to your left, top left, Kate. Over your shoulder.
Kate, please. Kate.
Kate, left side. Kate.
And Steven Soderbergh, who I'd worked with before, came to me and said that his friend Gary was wanting to do this, and he had this idea to put Sandy at the center of an Ocean's film. And I went, wow, that idea's got a lot of chutzpah. You know, do you reckon you can pull it off? Who are you interested in? And he read out the dream team list, and I went, okay, well, if you can get those women, I'm totally in. And they got them.
If you were pulling off a real-life heist, which of your co-stars would you want with you?
Definitely Sandy, because she's got follow-through. I think Mindy is a real listener and watcher, and Sarah's a real charmer.
Girls, all the young girls who want to grow up to be criminals. What do you hope all the girls, women, anyone who sees this movie walks away thinking?
You know, it's not a message film. It's a fun film, and I think you're watching this bunch of women pull off an insane and impossible heist. And I think that's always thrilling when people that you're rooting for do something impossible, which seems it's kind of a bit opposite for what's going on in the world with women at the moment. Women encouraging other women to, you know, to reach big, to dig deep, you know. But it's, you know, it's a tentpole film, so it's, you know.
Great honor to be here and to see the directions.
I mean, you know, that's been very precious and dear and personal for all of us. It asks a lot of big questions and respects its audience and doesn't necessarily tie it all up in a neat bow and